You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 11th meeting for the Michigan City Board of Cemetery Trustees. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Almost. Hello, boogers. We're going to call the meeting Thursday, September 11th, 2025, for the Cemetery Board of Trustees. We need a call to order, and that is it. Roll call.
Okay, Davis Bush,
Present.
Bernadette Demke, Renee Bauer,
Here.
Stephen Janis,
Here.
Mary Gaston,
Here.
and Kat Houchins.
Here.
Good. Important.
Excellent. Quorum. We'll move on for approval of minutes and motion of second.
I'll make a second.
Excellent. Any questions or comments? Otherwise, we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Negatives? None. Motion carries. Move on to the financial report from our friends at Horizon.
So, starting at the top of the summary page with the summary pages premium account, that account was up 0.28% for the month, and 2.16% year to date. Next, we have the small maintenance account, which was up 0.29% for the month, and 2.23% year to date. Extension fund is up next. That account was up 0.28% per month and 2.12% year to date. And finally, the merchandise and commissions fund account, which was up 0.3% per month and 1.3% year to date. Turning next to the second page of the account details, starting with the permanent maintenance payment account. Money market right now is yielding 4.17, which is down from last month's yield of 4.19. The mutual fund overall yield is at 3.71, it's down from last month at 3.75. Overall yield on that account is at 3.86, down from last month at 3.39. Next page is permanent maintenance small rate account. Mutual fund yield on that account is 3.72, which is down from last month 3.75. Overall yield on that account is at 3.94, down from last month 4.2. Next we have the extension fund. The mutual fund overall yield is 3.82, and that's down from last month's 3.87. The overall yield on that account is at 3.95. Which is down from last month, 3.98. And then finally, we have the merchandise fund account. The mutual fund overall yield in that account is at 3.85, down from last month's 3.9. The overall yield in that account is at 4.09, which is down from last month, 4.12. That's the summary of the accounts. Moving on to the economic review, we had a U.S. Consumer Price Index, or CPI, number release this week. It was at 2.9% increase year over year. That's still above the Fed's target. They'd like to see that get down to close to 2%. We're not seeing it spinning out of control by any means. Initial jobless claims also came out, which is another key economic indicator. That did rise sharply to 263,000 initial claims this week, which is quite a bit above the prior readings. So we are seeing some cracks, some softening in the labor market there. However, if U.S. corporate profits continue to rise as economists are expecting, we shouldn't see mass layoffs in the private sector at least. As far as corporate profits, second quarter corporate earnings did outperform expectations. It was the third consecutive quarter of double-digit growth. And that's a really key indicator because as long as we see corporate profits growing year over year, the economy tends to avoid a recession. So corporate profit growth tends to go negative year-over-year around recession. So we still have about a 35% chance right now of recession, so definitely not the base case. So that's still something we're monitoring, but no recession forecast in the near future at least. As far as inflation, it seems to be contained mostly to goods inflation. We're seeing, for example, furniture. We're seeing some spikes in furniture prices. If we see it contained to goods, it looks like it could be a one-time level price increase due to the tariffs. But if we see a spread to services in that area of the economy, then it could start to raise some red flags and it could be cause for concern. But right now, it seems to be contained goods and it doesn't seem to be out of control by any means. As far as the Fed, the tame inflation reading that we just had combined with that spike in initial jobless claims really gives the Fed a green light to cut interest rates next week when they meet on the 17th. The market's probably pricing in pretty much a guarantee that they're going to cut 25 basis points next week. A cut of 50 basis points is a slight possibility, but it doesn't seem like it's likely, but they're probably going to be debating a 50 basis point cut at least in this meeting. Right now the market's pricing in 2 cuts for the remainder of the year and a total of about 6 cuts of 25 basis points between now and the end of 2026. Treasury yields at the moment are about 4% on the short end, out to about 3.5% out to 5 years. So it's roughly in that 3.5% to 4% range, all the way out to 5 years. And CDs are yielding about 10 to 20 basis points higher than treasuries. But as we talked about before, if the Fed does cut interest rates, we should see that money market rate drop, accordingly with that rate cut. So it usually happens pretty quickly. So if the Fed does cut interest raets, the next meeting when we meet, we're probably going to be talking about a money market yield closer to 4 or maybe under 4% at that point. So with that, I'll take any questions or comments.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty then. No, need a motion and a second to accept the financial report from Verizon?
I make a motion, we accept the financial report from Verizon.
And I'll second that motion.
Excellent. We'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any negatives? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a list of bills presented for payment, and it's listed on the payment register. Everybody should have a copy. Any questions or comments? We'll ask about Riggs Outdoor Power, though. 18,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new mower that the board approved at the last meeting. We took delivery shortly after that meeting. So
Excellent.
And then let's go. Just,
Well, that was, we didn't get the previous bill for the month,
Oh,
and so, yeah.
okay,
So
okay,
now
so it
we
doubled
caught it
on
up.
top of their
I had
double.
called NIPSCO and talked to them, and they said they sent it, but I said I never received it.
Okay.
And so she goes, well, we put it through the mail, so you know how that goes. And I said, well,
Wow.
we'll definitely pay both
Okay,
months, so.
okay, wow.
Any other questions or comments on the bills? We'll need a motion to accept as presented.
I'll second that.
Excellent. We'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Negatives? No. Motion carries. We'll move on to the superintendent's report.
All right, so starting with the stats from last month. See, we had no entombments last month. We had 13 ash interments and 10 full burials. And then as far as how that compares year to year, we had 23 in August of 24, same for last year, so pretty consistent. Next item, when we went through the whole pricing for all of the merchandise and services that we offer, somehow we overlooked the late fee. The cemetery has always had a late fee, kind of to encourage the funeral homes to get here on time so we don't have to pay our employees overtime to stay over with burials. So we neglected to put that in our original price revision last December, I think, when we did it. So it didn't really become an issue until the last month or so when we had about 2 or 3 late arrivals. So obviously we can't charge late arrival fees if we don't have them on record. So our previous late arrival fee under, I guess that was, through our old pricing, was $430, and that was for any funeral arriving after 3 p.m. We would like, that's kind of steep to begin with, so we don't need to raise it too much. We're just going to make it an even $450. And then that would be for any funeral arriving after, I'm sorry, that should be 2:30, not 2:20. We need about an hour once the funeral comes on site, just to have the service, and then by the time we get the casket in the vaults and the vault covered and the sand hauled out, it's at least an hour. So even if we're asking them to be here by 2:30, it's still cutting it close, but I think that's a fair compromise. $450 for anything after 2:30. So I'd be asking the board to approve the addition to that price list.
And this is Monday through Friday or Saturday?
Yes,
also?
Saturdays we have no late fee. We have a penalty process to discourage it. So, like say, if on Saturdays, if you arrive after a certain time period, then you lose your Saturday privileges for a month.
So it'll be stipulated that it's after 2:30. It won't be a late fee if like you made an 11 o'clock time and you're an hour late.
No.
Okay, so
There's one.
it'll be understandable.
Right, because years ago, this was a long time ago, but because of the time change, the workers were actually out here doing the funeral service at night, and they had to use the lights of the truck to be able to see. And number one, safety.
Yeah.
So we just don't want that, and now the time change is gonna be coming up.
Right.
And we can't have them out here, and sometimes by 4:30, it's getting dark, and they cannot have the lights on the truck to try to do the burials.
How often do you see that happening? That they come?
It really hasn't been an issue for the year and a half, 2 years I've been here. It's only been an issue within the last month or so. We've had 3, I think, and all from the same funeral home.
Okay.
Excellent. We need a motion on that, because it's $20. Okay, we'll ask for a motion to accept this fee schedule and time schedule for late fees.
I make a motion that we accept the new late fee of $450 for anyone arriving after 2:30 or 3:30. 2:30.
Not second.
Sorry.
Excellent. We'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any negatives? Motion carries. Move on.
Next item, status on the Greenwood fence painting. So I kind of tried to experiment to see if this is something we could handle ourselves. I purchased a special metal paint from Sherwin-Williams, and it was acrylic paint. But my thought was that if we could brush it on, we could have some non-skilled, just seasonal people that we hire in the summer to do it. So I purchased the paint, I tried it myself, it's not gonna work. When you try to put this paint on with a brush, it smears, and as probably most of you have seen, the gray primer is showing through on many sections of the post and the fence. So when you do that, you can still see the gray shining or showing through, so we would actually have to put at least 2 coats on, which would be very time consuming. Expensive. So my next step was, I thought, well, let's try spraying it. So I bought a couple cans of Rust-Oleum spray paint, and it looks all right. The problem is It took me over one can to do one panel. So we'd be looking, we have approximately 892 panels of fence out there, so we'd be looking at about $8,000 in paint, which wouldn't be bad compared, we're looking at about over 50,000 to have somebody paint for us, but that 50,000 that you were looking at would include preparation. So the one panel that I did have rust at the tips of the pickets. So it'll cover it, but I guarantee you within a month, it's probably going to be rusting through that again. It has to be prepped somehow, so that's more intensive labor. So my recommendation would be that next year, maybe we talk to the mayor and see if we can get permission to maybe approach the city council to ask for capital expenditure approval to see if the city would be willing to help us out to pay for that. Like I said, I got one unofficial estimate just to see where we're at, and then another verbal estimate from another contractor. Both of them were over 50,000. The one that did provide me one in writing, he researched it pretty thoroughly. When you spray paint on a picket fence like this, a lot of the paint's going to be lost because it's shooting through the spigots or the pickets. So he researched the process where he would hook an electric current to the panel of fence that he's painting, which would attract the paint to the metal surface so that there would be no or very little waste of paint.
Similar to inside to electromagnetic.
Yes. Yes. So I think if we're going to put the time and effort and money into this, we should do it the correct way and not just try to patchwork it together by ourselves. I also, we're going through our budget process right now, and there's no way that we would ever get approval to hire additional seasonal labor to just do that all summer, unfortunately. So my recommendation would be we just wait until next year to see if there's some way we can get the city to fund it or at least partially fund it, and then we would have to maybe pay half of it ourselves. But it's definitely something we need to take care of next year because it's quickly rusting away. Next item would be, just want to give you an update. At the last meeting, I stated that our water fountain in Lake Pond here at Swan Lake had been damaged by muskrats. I have received the replacement parts so I can repair that. I don't want to put it in until we eliminate the muskrats because I don't want to have to repair it again. I contacted a local company that does wildlife removal. They're supposed to be coming out to set traps for the muskrats. Another thing you might notice out there, the lake level is really low compared to the level last year. And I think what happened was the water and sanitation departments are putting the new services through to the annexed area of the city across from the cemetery here at Swan Lake. And I think what happened was there's a culvert that runs from the opposite side of the highway underneath the highway into our pond. I think that must have been blocked up for a while, which caused the lake level to rise. So when they did that project, I went over there and looked, they cleaned that culvert completely out. So now our water level of our pond is at the bottom level of the culvert. So somehow we need to fix the damage to the banks because the banks are quickly destroyed out here. They're all caving in from the holes that the muskrats have made, and then somehow we need to figure out how we can raise the level of the pond somehow because it looks bad right now. So, but we're going to work on that here next week. Next item, the Greenwood office wall replacement. This was one of the items that I originally noted when I did my initial assessment of all the issues at both cemeteries. Finally found somebody that was willing to help us out on that. So if you remember, both of the exterior doors at the Greenwood office, they were rusted, they were rotten, there were holes about the size of a baseball on the bottom where rodents could get in. So we finally got those replaced, and that was the item in our pay register TPL exhibits. Each door cost us around $425, I believe, to replace. So that project's done. We just need to paint them. The painting of the interior break room has been completed, so we just need to finish the flooring in there, which we'll be doing this winter. Another item that we completed, the painting of our pump house out here. It was painted the same color scheme as the building. And then all we will have left to paint out here at Swan Lake will be the exterior trim once the windows are finished, and they should be finished within the next day or so.
Yes.
Next item would be the community activation grant. At the last meeting, I had suggested 3 possible projects to be undertaken by the board as part of the mayor's $3,000 grant that she's awarding. I did get some more quotes, so we know what we're looking at. That doesn't show up too good, but that's just a photo of the Veterans Circle out here, and I suggested one of the things we might be able to do would put concrete curbing around the Veterans Circle and then enclose it with, we could do the inside of the circle with like a mulch or river rock, just to get rid of all the dead grass and moles and the problem we have there. So I figured, I believe it was around $15 a linear foot to do the concrete curbing. So we'd be a little less than $2,000 for the curbing, and then with the money we need to spend for the river rock and then the shrubs that we would put in there, it would all come in under $3,000. So that's something that would be feasible to purchase or take on with that grant. Another option would be to replace or repair the missing section of the Greenwood entrance wall. I got an estimate from a local contractor. He was able to find, he couldn't find the exact block that's used there, but he found something that looks similar. And so with his labor and the cost to purchase the materials, we'd be looking about $1,850. And then we could probably use the remainder of the other $1,200 to maybe install some bushes or some kind of shrubs in front of the wall. And then lastly, the third option was replacing all of our signage. It would be replacing all the signage here at Swan Lake because all of our signage here is wood and it's rotting, looks bad. And then it would also be to replace the entrance signs at both cemeteries. We don't need to replace the section signs, the guard signs at Greenwood because they're all metal. They're durable, but not in need of replacement. So today I spoke with Graphic Arts, who's done a lot of our signage, and they're pretty confident they could take this project on for us for less than $3,000. So those are the 3 estimates I got. It's just up to the board which project you want to go with.
With the signs that you're replacing with metal to let powder coated?
They are metal. They're not. These are like plywood with.
I mean the poles that are attached.
We're going to replace the poles ourselves. That wasn't part of the $3,000, but I'm sure we have. I mean, we want to replace them with metal poles.
Yeah. Okay. So like powder coated or something.
Yes.
Okay.
And like I say, it would be actual metal signs, and then there's decals on there fixed up on them. But then they're laminated, so it's not cheap decals that can be peeled off or wear off the surface of a really nice sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then these type of signs, they can print whatever we want. So I had suggested possibly something like 2 swans facing each other with the name of the garden in between them, just for Swan Lake. And then also, just a reminder, when we do the entrance signs of both cemeteries, we will need to put the QR code for our sun sites, so people can scan that to find directions to them. So either way, if we don't take this on with the grant money, it's going to have to be done because we need to sign.
Okay. When do we have to decide?
Yeah, the project has to be completed by next March, so we have time. If you want to table it and consider all 3 options and then go with the next meeting, that's fine.
I mean, how does everybody feel? What's everyone leaning towards?
I like the signs.
Everybody else but me.
Everybody but you?
Yeah, because I'll go with anything. Right now, I like the signage because that'd be the best art for the community.
I like the signage.
Yeah, me too.
Darren, what do you think?
I like the signage, but I also like to get that Greenwood entrance repaired, and then maybe, you know, some of the money could be used for that damage for the bank, for the swans over here, or,
The damage to we'll be able to replace or
Okay.
repair that,
okay.
no
so that-
cost. We're gonna do that with our own labor, and then basically we're gonna take our, big pile of clay back here, because that all needs to be replaced with clay.
Okay, gotcha,
So,
okay.
We still have swans?
yes, we have two.
Haven't seen them.
I know.
I think the problem is the level of lake has gone down, so
Yes,
they sit
people
lower, so
see
you
them.
can't see them, so.
Right.
It's very upsetting for them.
I was out collecting feathers and swans are still there. They're about this big.
Well, I say we table it and vote next month.
Give us enough time.
Will that work? What are you leaning towards, Steve?
To complete it.
Whatever you want, keep it.
The signage won't be a problem completing.
Okay.
The wall won't. The only issue we might have is the veteran circle,
Oh,
because they don't do the curbing in the wintertime, and I don't know how soon in the spring they'd be able to get to it.
I'm leaning towards both the Greenwood, entrance wall and then the replace signage. But that Greenwood, is it an eyesore? Is it,
It's been like that for decades, I think. It was struck by a vehicle and never was repaired.
okay, so you better replace none, because insurance probably would have paid for it.
There was no insurance in the driver.
But again, that's, like I say, it's not that in the grand scheme of things. With our extension fund, it's only $1,800 to
Right.
repair that, so
Right.
that's something that can be done.
Yeah,
Not wrong,
yeah.
so.
Or even just the greenage, just be put there instead of the wall or something, since you're gonna do that anyways.
It's not the first time that it's been hit. I lived at 718, right at the end of Tilt, and it was hit like constantly,
Right.
every 5-6 months. Somebody smacked it.
Need some shrubbery there. Instead of sitting there money, so.
Put something steel up there, something.
Yeah.
So if you want to table it,
Okay,
and then what I'll do before the next meeting, I will present all three of these options to the mayor,
okay.
because I think she ultimately has to okay with.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll present all three and tell her which way we're leaning,
Mhm.
just to make sure she's good with if we want to go this
Okay. And then even pictures of the swans, how it's gonna look, the signage and everything. That'd be nice.
I think we'll table it and
So I make a motion
Moving
to
on.
table it for
Okay,
and see what our options are in the next meeting.
okay.
Excellent.
Next item would be, this is just an information item here, but next month, the LaPorte County Historical Society, I believe, they will be having a tour of Greenwood Cemetery. They had one in the spring, I believe in May, and it was pretty popular. The one in October will be October 4th, and there'll be 3 tour times, noon, 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. If you're not a member of the Historical Society Museum, it will be $5 per adult and children free. So I know Roxanne, Denise, and probably myself are all planning on attending that.
We're gonna call Mary Frances too and see if she wants to go.
Yeah, I went to the first one they
Oh, yeah.
had, and they're gonna do different
Yes.
burials in this one, so they won't.
Yeah, Denise has been working with the organizers of this just to
Mhm.
point out some areas of interest, so. And then, again, just an informational item. It's been apparently years since all of these stones the memorials out here at Swan Lake have been edged. It's a big project, so it does need it badly. So we started on the kind of the west or north side of the cemetery near the garden edge of Peace, right across from the mausoleum. So it's a labor-intensive process. I think we spent a day and we got 2 rows done here so far. So
Good.
we're hoping to get a large portion done. Whatever we don't get, we hope to finish up in the spring, but
Okay.
it's needed badly.
Mhm.
And then this is, again, just an informational item. This was brought to my attention by Dave over at Greenwood. So we're having an issue with an unidentified male adult driving a black GMC pickup. We've tried to get the plate number, but every time he sees us, he takes off. But I don't know what kind of fascination he has with this, but he's going out butchering all of our bushes, all of our shrubs. So I just want the public to know that when they see this out there at Greenwood, it's not us butchering these bushes. There's somebody going out there almost on a daily basis and trimming bushes. I have a lot more pictures. He's done dozens of bushes out there, but this is an example where he completely took off all the green. These were fern trees, some type of fern or evergreen trees that he's completely butchered. So as soon as we are able to get a plate number, we're going to contact the police department, see if they can be in contact with this individual to see if we can get this to stop. I'm not sure what's going on, because it's not just one family marker that this is happening to. So I think it appears to be random. It's not like this person is going out and trimming just one family markers.
Is he doing that at night?
No, he's doing it during the daytime.
Oh, wow.
And he's hauling off.
No, he doesn't. He takes and he
Oh, he's
piles
not.
the piles out there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Does he think he's doing a good job or a deed?
I don't think so, because, like, say, Dave over there at Greenwood, he's kind of caught this person a couple times, but every time the person sees Dave coming, he takes off and leaves. In fact, last time he left his tools out there. So.
So is he just getting graves that are like overgrown and hiding the stones, or is
Yeah,
he
but most of them are stones that he's doing around like this.
that were
He may think he's
covered?
doing them a favor, but like this one, these were perfectly healthy bushes that were completely destroyed. And with these evergreens and ferns, there's certain times of year when you can prune these things, and you can't just take off a bunch at a time because you're going to kill them. So I just wanted the public to be aware that this is not our doing here.
So we do get to keep his tools.
Yes.
Yes.
And I believe that's all I have.
Did you talk about this Swan Lake exterior remodeling? That
Yes,
was-
yes, our windows, it should be done here in a few
Okay.
days.
All right.
So as far as the culvert goes, we can, it's not against the law or anything else, we can still put a physical barrier in a culvert to raise our level in the pond. It's our stuff. It's not gonna cause any problems in the house. We should look into that.
Yes.
Oh.
Excellent.
Oh, one last thing, just an update on the cabinet that we're having built for the mausoleum over at Greenwood. I contacted the company that's building that for us. They hope to have it complete by the end of this month.
Okay.
Excellent.
Good.
And that pretty much takes care of old business and new business. Anything else? Any questions or comments on the board? Motion to adjourn?
I make the motion, we adjourn.
Second. Excellent, we'll vote.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All negatives? None? Motion carries. We're done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.